welcome back to Where WWE Meets Pop Culture. It is me, Queen PR, and I had to start the show off with those beautiful black women, a part of the University of Arkansas's marching band, who you guys probably saw all over social media, did a rendition of Cody Rhodes' entrance music, and I love when black culture is incorporated into wrestling culture. I think it is a really cool thing. We'll get into that. We'll get into all of the wrestling and pop culture news that happened over the past week. You know, you can always come here every Monday night before Raw. I will be serving all the top rope tea. Hey, Rakarsha. I want to welcome everyone back. Those that are new to the channel, I am one half of those wrestling girls, and we are a wrestling podcast. We are everywhere. We stream weekly. Make sure you follow me on all social media for all the latest in wrestling and pop culture. So we have a fun show. I actually was able to speak to the person that got that footage from that performance. A little, I can give you some insight on how that even happened and Cody Rhodes' response to that. We'll get into Bianca Belair on Bel Air. I want to know if there's anyone else that watches that show because I am obsessed. I think it is one of the best um, reboots ever. They did a really good job of like so many different things. We'll get into what Sheamus has been up to. We are in college football season, and WWE is big in that. So we will be doing a lot of sports related news on the show in the next coming months. You have the NFL starting. You got NBA starting soon. College football. So many different things. I'm excited for Fashion Corner. Some of our girlies was in Germany stunting with some custom. So we'll get into some of the designers that some of your favorite WWE superstars were wearing while they were playing these international shows. So welcome back. I want to, hey, Wrestling Realm. So the first story I do want to touch on is this marching band from the University of Arkansas. As soon as I seen the video, it was sent to me by a few people. I wanted to know everything about it because I realized I love serving the top rope tea, but I'm going to give y'all all of it. I'm not just going to give y'all some of it. I'm going to do my very best to serve all of it as scolding hot as it is. I'm going to give you all the details about wrestling and pop culture news here on Where WWE Meets Pop Culture. So I reached out, and the person that filmed that video was a former student at the school and also a former member of the marching band. So he graduated, but he attended that game because he wanted to film and get content for his marching band. Because once you're a part of something like that, you're always a part of it. So he was there to support. Hey, Dad. Go 49ers. Okay, football season has officially started. But the student who is from Arkansas. His name is Jake Lawson from North Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you so much for your time and giving me some of the deets on how that came to be. But his the marching band, very famous. They do, and these are paraphrasing his words. They do a lot of diverse songs. They explore rap, rock, gospel, R&B. The song was arranged by the band's chief arranger, Mr. Ryan Harris. So he was also a graduate of the school and also part of the marching band, and he is a big WWE fan. So I love hearing that. I love when, you just never know who is a wrestling fan. And when he had the choice, he decided to do a rendition of Cody Rhodes' theme song, which is a very inspirational song. I have been in buildings where it was screamed, people were screaming it at the top of their lungs. And it is a very moving and powerful song. So they decided to do that. Cody Rhodes actually tweeted at the university. And I just love this about Cody. He's just so present in everything that he's doing or everything that's happening around him. But he said, thank you. They did a good job. And then right before his match in Bash in Berlin, he tweeted, Berlin had me already fired up, but this may have been played once or twice in the locker room before my match today. Awesome stuff. So he has been showing the University of Arkansas love ever since they posted this video. So I really love that. Of course, you can't help but think of Bianca Belair's entrance at WrestleMania 38 with the marching band, and just having chills of seeing this part of Black culture featured on such a large stage. And I love that Cody wasn't, he didn't hesitate to show this marching band love. But I want to know what you guys think, what you guys saw of it. Marching bands are going to be going in. I know you guys already seen like the Not Like Us rendition. So it's definitely going to be a lot of those performances that are going to go viral. And I hope they do more wrestling things because I think it's really cool. And I'm sure this isn't the first time. So shout out to University of Arkansas and Cody Rhodes, of course. So on to the next story.
My stomach tattoos have definitely got a lot of attention. Like, I have the gargoyle in the middle, which everyone loved. But then I went and got these scorpions.
Rhea Ripley was the subject of WWE's Tattooed. It is a YouTube series where superstars that are heavily tattooed go on the show and talk about the origin stories and some of the experiences they've had getting them. This was a show on WWE Network back in the day too, and I'm glad they brought it back. And I'm glad that, and Rhea Ripley talks about this in her episode, the perception of who you are if you have tattoos has changed, which I'm happy about. She did say something, and I'm curious to know what you guys think about her being sort of the first girl that was heavily tatted like this. And I couldn't help but think of like Ruby Riott back in the day. Like, I don't know if she was like the first, but I think her look really made an impact. And to think when she came to WWE, she barely had any tattoos. And now just to see she has them all over her body. And go watch it on YouTube. I'll link it in the description if you haven't seen the episode. But she talks about matching tattoos with Dominic, Damian Priest. There's really sentimental story she tells about one on the back of her left arm of a chicken jar, and it's a really heartwarming story about her grandmother and how all of her tattoos mean something. She goes to the same artist. I'm obsessed with female tattoo artists. I think it's just the most badass thing. But then there's some that she's gotten on the road. There's one really funny story that she talks about in a matching tattoo that she got with Dominic on their left thumb. They both have ghost tattoos, and it is a really funny story, and it's so connected to their life in wrestling. And it just, I think another interesting thing about Tattooed in this show particularly is you can just tell like how much their wrestling careers mean to them, because a lot of their tattoos are wrestling based, like on their like memorable moments and dates and stuff like that. So in mind you, these are like permanent things you get on your body, and that's how much the business means to them. So those are interesting stories. I'm a huge tattoo enthusiast, so I loved just hearing all the stories. And all of Rhea's work is absolutely beautiful. She says her fans are insane. They like watch her tattoo journey like a hawk. A lot of them get matching tattoo designs. A lot of them, and a lot of cosplay. I've seen so much Rhea Ripley cosplay, and this matters. If you depending on how hardcore you want to go and how dedicated you want to go into emulating who you're playing, you want to get the tattoos right if you can. So she talks about that and some of the ones that her fans are crazy about, and how any part of her body that's not tattooed looks naked. And I can totally relate to that. But yeah, go check it out. There's episodes with Jey Uso. Jey Uso referenced this in his story, which is really funny because they have similar like poses. Because you have to have interesting like poses so that the tattoo pops out in the photography. So yeah, I love this episode, and I cannot wait to see who they do next.
We're going to do a little exercise with the help of my friend, WWE superstar Bianca Belair. Yo! Hey, y'all, come on.
How y'all doing?
Good.
I know a lot of y'all may know me as the first Black woman to headline WrestleMania, but I started out as a little kid practicing diving chops off my mom's sofa in Knoxville. It took a lot of hard work, but now...
Bianca Belair had a guest spot on Peacock exclusive Bel Air, the reboot of the French Prince, and she did really well. I love this. She played a video on her Instagram, some behind the scenes. So I don't want to say too much because I really want you guys to go and watch Bel Air. Like, I love it so much. They're in this third season. It's a very easy binge on Peacock. Very, very warm, and I really like it. But Bianca, she plays herself, as you guys can see, but she visits this kind of a investor incubator program for young entrepreneurs, and it's a part of like an investment club, and it's very empowering for the students that are in the club, and Will and his cousin are in it, and they invite Bianca Belair to as like a motivational like exercise kind of thing, and they get to like body slam each other, and Will and his cousin, they get to get out some aggression, and she gets to like show them the moves. It's really, really fun guest appearance, and cool for like for me, and I think for Bianca Belair as well, just as a Black woman, and having a role in a show that's so ingrained in Black culture, being able to, call your parents and be like, oh my God, I'm going to be on like the Fresh Prince reboot. Like, I think that has to be so cool for her. And she is just rising to the occasion for these opportunities that she's given. And she just nails it every single time. Let's play a little bit. I don't know if we have some of her backstage stuff that she got while she was on set, but really, really, really cool stuff. Another thing that Bianca Belair did recently, as we are in the midst of college football season, WWE provided her with her alma mater's legacy title, Tennessee, in the bright orange. And I think I mentioned it on previous shows. When I seen these titles, just when they like posted photos on the website, I was like, But if in person, they are absolutely beautiful, and I would want my college team, or my professional team, like I would absolutely want one. I don't know if we have any. Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It is WWE superstar Bianca Belair, and as y'all know, I am a Tennessee Vol alumni. You heard me, Lady Vol for life, and I love wearing my college colors, this Tennessee orange. So make sure you wear your colors on College Colors Day on Friday, August 30th. Go Big Orange.
Beautiful, beautiful belt. I love an educated Black woman in the space, and she looks so good at orange. Like, yeah, I agree. I think Bianca Belair looks so good at orange. So next story.
Where do you want to go, fella? Huh? $5 Uber ride. All right, put your hands together. $5 Uber ride. Let's go, Jacket.
So Sheamus was on College Game Day, and he successfully picked Georgia Tech to win one of the first games of the season. So of course he had to go to a game, and he led them, to the field, and had a really good time. Like, he rode around with them, and they posted on Instagram like, okay, who wouldn't want someone like Sheamus to lead them in the charge? And Sheamus, is one of those WWE superstars, in my opinion, where he's done like so much in the company already. Like, y'all go to Germany. I'm gonna stay here and have fun and drink beer and watch like some football. I feel like that's a good way to go about things these days. But if anyone else sees any like WWE stars at college games, like I take tips. I want to know what I am not seeing. I want to know where WWE superstars pop up, because nowadays they are like popping up everywhere. So just to take a quick break, I want to show the trailer of a new show that Jordan Peele is coming out with called Scare Tactics. And it's a mix between Punk'd, but also like if you were cast in your like worst horror movie and you don't even realize that you're in a horror movie, like a mix between that. And, Jordan Peele is very good with that suspense. He has a great appreciation for the horror genre. So Cody Rhodes pranks The New Day in this new season. So let's play that trailer real quick. Okay. So we'll play that trailer because I think it's really interesting that this type of show is going to be out, because I think scaring people like that is kind of like fucked up. Like, I don't like it. Like, don't scare me. But Cody doing it out of all people to the New Day is what is so funny to me. So let's move on to the next story. I see a lot of people entering the chat. Welcome to Where WWE Meets Pop Culture, where I get into all the fun wrestling and pop culture news. I tell you what all your favorite wrestlers are up to outside of the ring and serving up all of the top rope tea. So I'll answer this comment real quick. Hey, J Dixon 68. What did you think of Goldberg hyping up to his son to do his job and get the guys ready for the Colorado game? So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I saw that. And I was like, okay, like, is this, I know football is a very, like, you got to get in the mindset. You have to be, like, very, like, hard. And, Goldberg obviously played and was pretty good. I mean, it's what you got to do. I think about, like, Bronny and LeBron, like, you can't call me dad on the court. Like, it's going to be very intense, I think. But I don't know. I feel like it just kind of comes with the territory, and I think his son is going to succeed, hopefully. I mean, I hope, it wasn't too much, but from what I saw, it looked like, it's not easy having, your dad play the sport that, you're going into. So let's get into Hollywood. Batista and Drew McIntyre are cast in Batista's new movie called The Killer's Game. It comes out September 13th. Batista has been on a media tour promoting the movie. He's been talking about a lot of different things while on Chris Van Vliet's show. He's been on all the late night talk shows, of course, dressed to the nines. I love how he dressed, the way he wears a suit. He slimmed up. He talked about how he has not been in that shape, since before he was wrestling. And, I think he looks great. If you are not in the ring, like, do you really need to be, like, huge like that? Like, I think, you could just chill. And I think he looks great. I think he wears clothes great. He's photo here with Drew McIntyre, who has a role in the film. And if you are interested in how Drew McIntyre was even cast in this film, let's play the footage.
Dave's movie, The Killer's Game, which is coming out in September, by the way. It's coming out next month. It's bizarre to see myself on a poster in the movie theaters. And Dave called me himself, and he basically told me the premise of the movie. It's very John Wick-like, but more, comedic elements involved, and all the hitmen and hitwomen in it are just unbelievable. Dave puts a hit on himself. He believes, he's got terminal illness, turns out. May not be true, and a lot of people are coming after him, a lot of bad people. This might be one of the bad people, and they were looking for a character, a couple of Scottish brothers. J.J. Perry, the director, had this vision, and he said to Dave, like, I have one, I just need somebody that's, big enough and imposing enough that he could beat you up. He kind of looks the part in a way you'd expect from a Scottish person, and I'm going to kind of perhaps use some of the Scottish slang, so here's some fun slang in Scotland, and perhaps be like unintelligible while he's talking at times. And if anybody's talked to me in real life, I enunciate more when I'm on the microphone, but in real life I'm a mumbler, I talk quiet, I talk kind of fast, I've got a Scottish accent. And Dave went, I know that guy, he exists in real life. So he called me up, we had a chat, WWE were cool with it, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, we may see more in the future. I'm always pitching to people, if you want to redo, Braveheart 2, I know zombies are still the rage right now. They're still an end thing. At the end of Braveheart, William Wallace obviously was hung, drawn, and quartered. If they could, do a movie where they get Wallace's body powers and kind of put them back together, and he goes back as Zombie Wallace and wreaks havoc on the English. And Braveheart 2, The Rise of Wallace. I'll be Wallace.
You can pull it off.
I'll be Zombie Wallace.
You look like the dude from The Boys too, right? Like,
oh yeah, I get that a lot.
Get that a lot for sure. I can see it for sure.
Yeah, I've been censoring myself. I'm doing pretty well. I mean, for the swear jar, I think I'm doing pretty well so far. No C words. Let's
So that was at Fanatics Fest when he was on The Masked Man during Fanatics Fest, and he was able to talk about how he was cast. Batista called him. They were looking for a big Scottish man that looked like he could beat people up, and was able to speak, in the Scottish, the slang, the Scottish slang, and stuff like that. And I mean, I couldn't think of anyone that better fit that than Drew McIntyre. But what was interesting to me about what he said in that snippet was that he was not looking to do acting roles. Like, Hollywood was not something he was looking into, and now you kind of think they all are, just because of the landscape that we're in. But he just wanted to be able to retire as a wrestler and say that, he was able to make a living doing it since he was 15 years old. And Hollywood comes up, then, he's more than happy to do more of it. He has a dream role in Braveheart 2. So those are the sorts of things I like to manifest for things to happen. But let me know what you guys think about Batista's, kind of swerve into Hollywood. I like what he said about seeing himself on a movie poster. I will be watching The Killer's Game so that I can do a review on it, because I've talked so much about it on the show. But I love these sorts of things. Batista, this is the first movie. This is like his project. He's producing it. It's coming out. He was able to cast people. It is sort of a comedic John Wick story action film, so I'm really excited about it. Terry Crews is in it. The cast is amazing. These are the sorts of things that I like to cover on this show, so I want to encourage everyone to see The Killer's Game, and if not, I will watch it so you don't have to, and give you all the details. Let's go on to the next story. Hey, BCP. So Jonathan Davenport is a wonderful human being. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. He's good friends with Big E. He also is a gear maker. He makes all of the New Day's really cool anime-inspired characters in video games. Like, he does all of that. He also partnered with Big E and Andreas Hale to produce Our Heroes Rock, which I really hope they do more of those, because it was really good. I'll link all of this in the description so you can check out their work. But he did, hold on, let me pull up exactly what he did, because I think it is just like so cool. But he did a pro wrestling gear design seminar at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. And I didn't know that he did like Johnny Gargano, Apollo Crews gear as well. So like the Ninja Turtle gear, he did Ricochet. He's done their gear loosely inspired by other characters, and really bright, bold designs. And he talked about pop culture and pro wrestling attire and how that meets in that intersection. The seminar was called Heroes, Gods, and Gear. And I like that too, because the gear is such an important part of a wrestler's persona. It really means everything, and you could say so much with your gear. Like, just a random example, watching Bash in Berlin with Randy Orton in a championship match, and he was wearing the color of the gear he was wearing where he won the championship before. So like those little things, you can tell so many stories through a wrestler's gear. And the New Day have always been super creative with their gear over the years, and this is the mastermind behind it. And like I said before, he's one of the nicest people I have ever met. So I want to see more of this. We talked about how AEW took over San Diego Comic-Con, and how I want to see more wrestling, stories about the background, this type of stuff in these spaces. Because even if you don't like wrestling, like, I know so many people that work in the entertainment industry, like as actors, and even they have a huge respect for what wrestlers do, because you have to play a character. And then on top of that, you have to connect with people in the moment. And on top of that, that's not even talking about the wrestling and the athletic and the physicality that you have to do, and marrying all that together. Then your presentation, your hair, your makeup, it's such a production. and performance to pull off. And these sorts, having wrestling represented in these Comic Cons and doing more seminars like that, I think just raises the awareness to the art form of wrestling, which is also a big reason why I love this show and why I do this show, where WWE meets pop culture, because I don't want to talk about what's happening inside the ring, because the impact of wrestling is now happening more and more outside of the ring. And that is why I come to serve all the top rope tea every Monday night. I agree, Jay Dixon, this is a very cool workshop. He says, feeding the creative space and what is possible with fashion. I was going to say, I think this is a good segue into this week's So, the Fashion Corner is our weekly segment where I talk about some of my favorite fashion. So, this jacket you might recognize, matching jackets for the Terror Twins, um, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Now, I love this brand personally. Saints of the Undead, they do a lot of the custom jackets. They do goth chic very well, like the studs, the chains, the hint of purple. I love these jackets. They make a huge statement, and it also goes to show you that like dope jackets in wrestling can go from this style up to like Cody Rhodes jacket, up to like Ric Flair's jacket. Like there, it can vary. Like what an iconic wrestling jacket could look like these days. Like Triple H's denim leather jacket is, iconic. I think in some of the same ways as some of the other signature jackets that might be a little bit more flashy, but this matches the Terra Twins personality so well. The Instagram, Saints of the Undead, which I will definitely link in the description, posted on their Instagram saying, these guys always give me free reign over the design work, and I always appreciate their trust in me. The front of both jackets had similar styles to other pieces we have designed for the pair, but the back piece needed to be something more sinister after the betrayal of the Judgment Day. The Grim Reapers are coming, and they are back for blood. And if you think about the story of the match, this design, and that's what you want. You want all the pieces to connect in this way. And shout out to Saints of the Undead, because I love this. And learning the inspiration behind the design and how everyone plays a part in the storytelling. Chef's kiss. I absolutely love it. What do you guys think of these jackets? Do you guys love the connection between the design inspiration and what the match was? And did you guys enjoy the match? Did you guys like Fashion Berlin? Let me know. So Bailey was wearing, she did a very minor cameo in the Berlin weekend, but she finally returned to SmackDown, and she interfered when Tiffy was there. And she was wearing this beautiful lace jacket. I love it. And I couldn't help but notice it because I love me a good lace. And the way she was able to add lace to like that denim jacket, I absolutely loved it. So she posted on her Instagram, very funny, like how adorable her jackets are, because they're all like custom made. And then it's like, okay, well, do you watch WWE? Because it kind of made the cut. It's pretty durable. She said, shout out to Bailey for being such an awesome customer and an even better wrestler. I looked on Dragon Denim's Instagram, and she makes custom denim jackets with lace, and they are absolutely beautiful. I will absolutely be hitting her up, inquiring about a jacket, because I think they are so beautiful. I'm a big floral fan. Like, I'm like, did she make these jackets for me? Bailey has been stepping up her fashion game lately, and I am all the way here for it. Let me know if y'all agree with me lately with Bailey, because I love her looks. But that is not the only custom jackets that were made for your favorite WWE superstars in Germany. So this is Liv Morgan, and this jacket was made by Pixie Dust Denim Jackets. And you can see here this video that the designer posted. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, like Liv's look in the beginning of her entrance was definitely giving a little bit Alexa Bliss for me. But it's just the short, cute girl with blonde hair. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like that, like a little bit like Alexa. And you can see the designer has some of Alexa's sayings on her jacket. So I'm assuming she's made jackets for Alexa Bliss in the past. But I think this is absolutely beautiful. I love the one of a kind collage type work because you can't really replicate it, like even if you wanted to. And Liv needed a statement jacket, like I was saying before. Statement jackets are important. This was a big match. A lot of story went into it. And this jacket also tells the story of the match and her relationship with Dom. And I just love that so much. So I love custom designs. I love when fashion is incorporated in wrestling. So these custom jackets for this week's Fashion Corner just hit the mark for me. Liv was also my red carpet queen. I think she is WWE's red carpet queen. I don't care. But she was featured in InStyle along with our favorite fashion stylist, King Troy. The headline is From Raw to the Red Carpet, Liv Morgan is bringing fashion to the WWE, and yes, she is. She always has on a different look, but it always fits her personality. I talk about how wonderful King Troy is as a stylist all the time, so I'm not going to go in that way. But he is friends with the wrestlers that he styles, but he's also in Hollywood. He styles Tiffany Haddish, Fantasia, Jasmine Sullivan. He's a big wrestling fan. I'm a huge fan of his. Liv was also featured in People magazine recently, and she talks about how, you know, you may see her on all these Hollywood red carpets, but wrestling will always be her first love. She did sign with Paradigm Talent Agency, joining Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting to mention that are also signed to that representation agency. But, you know, her eyes are, you know, WWE, wrestling, being in the ring. That is where her focus is. And that's her first love. And that's where it will always be. And I like hearing that because I'm always interested. Because now, like I mentioned before, like Hollywood is just right there. Other opportunities to, you know, explore in the mainstream are just right there. Hey, Justin, you're right. That Barbie look on Liv is top notch. She took photos with Margot Robbie, and I think she ate Margot Robbie down on this red carpet. Like, I was like, well, I don't know if you want to stand it. She had that championship that looked good too. I was like, ooh, Barbie, I don't know if you want to stand next to Liv because she looking good. But yes, shout out to my red carpet queen. She is always doing her thing. So this is a bachelorette party where the theme was come as a WWE superstar. You see Stone Cold, John Cena, The Undertaker, Andre the Giant. They did they did it all. Here's The Rock. It's so cool. They went out to bars in this attire. There's Ric Flair. You see Hogan. And it was all WWE. And I was so intrigued by this. And I was like, I need to know, like, how this even came to be. Like, you know, who was the bride to be? Whose idea was it? Was everyone down? Like, how it was? So I reached out to the account that posted the video. And I was like, hey, can I feature this video on my show? I think this is awesome. How did this come to be? Like, give me some deets. And Annie OD on Instagram, she was very, very she thought it was fun that I wanted to cover it, and she shared some deets with me. So she said her friend was the bride, the one that is playing John Cena, and she grew up a huge wrestling fan. Literally lived in John Cena shirts as a kid. We knew we wanted to do something fun as one of the theme days, and her significant other brought up the idea. I'm sorry, her sister-in-law brought up the idea of everyone dressing up as wrestlers, and everyone was on board. So I had to ask her, like, is this something that you're like? Are you all wrestling fans? Like, did you have to kind of force some of your friends to do it? You know, all the women out there that have been a part of bachelorette parties and wedding parties, it could be like, oh God, like, what does this bride want me to do now? So I was curious, like, because I think they executed it perfectly, and it looked super fun. And she said the bride was thrilled. She was surprised with the entire theme, and each did their own entrances, and they gave her the John Cena outfit. So it was a surprise. They let her dress up as John Cena. I love the fact that she lived in John Cena shirts as a kid, and I asked her how she enjoyed it. Being someone that's not particularly a wrestling fan, and she said it was a blast. Everyone knew instantly who they were, and they all loved it. Kudos to that. I love that little fun stuff. You know, people ask me all the time, is wrestling going to be incorporated in like my wedding? And I'm always like, you know, me and Brian H. Waters are huge wrestling fans, but I don't know, you know, like, you know, where is the line? Where is the line? Should we, those in the comments, should me and Brian H. Waters have wrestling aspects in our wedding or wedding events or anything like that? And how can we do it so it's not cheesy? Because I like what these ladies did. I thought that was like super cute and like fun. So you never know. But I do, on another note, want to shout out Annie, who I talked to, who's a friend who did the WWE thing, Bachelorette Party. She is a hockey content creator, and I just love that there are so many women out there that's creating sports content, because it is so, you know, I come from the wrestling media space, and I know how white male dominated it is and how hard it is as a Black woman to even, you know, get a little bit. And when I see other women in the space, I'm always very excited about that. And hockey is something that is not very, you know, you won't think that there's this like hot, you know, chick that's a huge hockey fan and has a hockey podcast. So I'll link her Instagram in the description. If you're a hockey fan, I suggest you follow her because she's really fun and really funny. I love it. So now I do want to run that trailer of that show Scare Tactics by Jordan Peele that I mentioned earlier, because some of your favorite people make cameo appearances. So let's run that trailer.
See American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes? I just pranked the New Day.
I love Scare Tactics. Oh, we're supposed to get me.
Get ready.
So you notice Kofi is like, wait, because they prank each other. I'm sure you guys know, as New Day fans, they all prank each other. They love doing that shit. If you listen to their podcast, they love pranking each other. So that's why it's fun that the New Day was like the last people to think they will be getting pranked, especially by somebody like Cody Rhodes. So I want to end the show with something like super funny. And this might be a little more wrestly than that I usually feature on the show. But Trick Williams released a diss track against Ethan Page. And I want to know what you got. Pete Dunne. I'm sorry. Pete Dunne. Sorry. Yeah, white boys. But I want to know what y'all think about this diss track on one of my faves, Pete Dunne.
See what happened, cause I'm the red list, Petey. Yeah, you wish that you could beat me, Petey. Oh, you mad cause you can't see me, Petey. Yeah, I told you cause you can't beat me, you can't see me. I'm the realest for sure. Yeah, I'm the red list, Petey. Yeah, you wish that you could beat me, Petey. Oh, you mad cause you can't see me, Petey. Yeah, I told you cause you can't beat me, you can't see me. I'm the realest for sure.
Add it on. Give me more aspects of beef and wrestling. Like, I'm here for it. Another thing I wanted to quickly mention, and I want to know what you guys think about it as well, is this Machine Gun Kelly and Randy Orton beef. And it made headlines. Like Us Weekly did a story on it. Yes, like it was all over the place because, it's so interesting also just working in media is a lot of times like they don't know what to report on because of kayfabe. So they're always like even when I used to write for my company, and it was just like, is this like real? Like, is this worth like reporting on, or is this a part of the storyline? And it's always just like that fine line because it's just like, So, but MGK being MGK and him having history in WWE, him just coming out with Logan Paul, him being on Jelly Roll's new song. But so first MGK, he was on Logan Paul's podcast last Wednesday, and he recalled seeing Randy Orton at SummerSlam in Cleveland. And he says when he was in the ring to say what's up to Logan, he saw Randy Orton and remembered that Randy Orton was talking shit about him. So he basically was like, fuck you to Randy Orton, supposedly. And he was like, that really happened, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, he went on and on and on about it. And Randy Orton tweeted a Pinocchio emoji and tagged Machine Gun Kelly, basically implying that he was lying. And then less than an hour later, Machine Gun Kelly said, you have my number, and you know why you have it, by the way, but I won't even put you on blast for that. Check your texts. And he put the Pinocchio emoji. And then also adding, cameras were rolling, tell WWE to put that out. Then MGK posted again, alluding that people are getting mad at the truth. But then what was real spicy about this is that other wrestlers got into it, including Xavier Woods, and he refuted it and said, if I know one thing about Randy Orton, if someone was to actually curse him to his face, then that person would no longer have the ability to tell that story. And I'm with Xavier Woods on this. Like, you got to think about these people. Like, Randy Orton, first of all, gives no fucks, number one. Number two, he's Randy Orton. Number three, he is like a fucking professional wrestler, almost 300 pounds. MGK, what are you doing? Like, sit down somewhere. And again, if you really want the smoke, like, it depends. Like, do you want the smoke inside the ring, like, Logan Paul style? Or do you really want the smoke? Because I don't think you really want the smoke with Randy Orton. And it kind of died down a little bit. And I don't know if WWE may play on these, the tension that's going on between them. Because like I said, MGK does make appearances in WWE. Like we're kind of used to him being there. He's close to Logan Paul. Logan Paul is already a pretty good heel. So if you want to incorporate this in it, I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about the tea. Also, let me know if you guys want me to talk more on the serious wrestling news. I did cover the arrest of Nikki Garcia's husband. And I usually wouldn't report on things that serious, but I do want to be a resource to you guys and share some of my feelings and my perspective on some of these stories, especially having worked at a tabloid and just kind of knowing there's a lot of shit out there. So I really just want to be able for you guys to come here every Monday night before Monday Night Raw and get all of the real news. Like, I want to be that for you guys. So let me know if you want me to cover stuff like this MGK stuff like the Nikki stuff. I don't mind putting a segment out, especially when there's a lighter show like tonight, and serving some of that, more serious tea, and we can talk about it. But yeah, let me know. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Where WWE Meets Pop Culture. You can catch me, Queen PR, here every Monday night on Those Wrestling Girls YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button and that bell for notifications. You can follow me, Queen PR, on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, everything. And also, just I didn't talk about what inspired me this week because I was so inspired by the marching band and just Black culture in general being incorporated in a lot of different things. But if there is one thing that has been inspiring me lately is the bravery to just jump and try something completely new, but also going about it in a very different way. And I cannot wait to share more about what I'm talking about. But there is never a perfect time to start a new project, to start a creative project. Like when you feel it in your soul, like trust your instinct and just go for it because there will never be a perfect time. Especially in this day and age, you just never know what the fuck is ever gonna fucking happen on a day-to-day basis. And it's like you don't want to waste time second guessing yourself. Like just go for it. Um, if you enjoy this show, please tell your friends. This is the wrestling show that's like no other, and it's really fun. And I love doing it, and I love being here with you guys every Monday night. We will be going live, me and Krista B, with Lip Gloss and Ladders, the ladies of that podcast tomorrow night. So make sure you stay tuned for that. They are four beautiful Black women who love wrestling and have started a platform and a podcast. And I want to know how they got together, how they started it. We'll get into all of that. Also, while sipping some Duke and Zane whiskey, one of the official sponsors of those wrestling girls. I want to thank the producer for all of their hard work on the show. I love working with you. Also, the team over at TPG Network and all of our day ones that join me on these live streams. And I hope to catch everyone back here next Monday night, maybe Tuesday, for Where WWE Meets Pop Culture. And it's me, Queen PR. And I will see you next week.